Record. Okay. So welcome everybody. This is a super exciting call, and I've been, waiting to do this call because testimonies are probably the best thing in life to hear. To hear people's, great stories that come out is exciting, and it's heartwarming all at the same time. So for those of you that are new that are going to be watching this, we are New Yugen. We are the Achievers team, and we are talking about our flagship product today, Soulera. And Soulera is an anti-stress formula, which I think everybody in the world needs right now. And we have 2 or 3 lovely people that are going to come in today, and they're going to tell you their story and their experiences with using this product. And everybody's been kind of using it for different amounts of time. First and foremost, I'm going to say, got to get the medical disclaimer out of the way. We are just telling what our stories are, what has happened in our lives. We're not here to make any medical claims. Soulera does not treat, diagnose, or cure any disease. It does not prevent diseases. It is known as an anti-stress product, and it is clinically proven to reduce cortisol levels. And that's what everybody started using it for. But like everything with adaptogens, people get different testimonies and different things from it, and that's what we're going to hear today. So Anna, if you want to unmute, we're going to start with you today. Now, her exciting story is can't wait to hear it again.
Hi everyone. I hope you can hear me. This is a first for me. I'm a little bit nervous today, so bear with me if I get a little short of breath here. I will give you a little bit of history on my previous health issues. I hit premenopause at an extremely early age at 35. Before that, I had experienced some hot flashes on and off since age 29. When they got really bad, I went to see my doctor to see what I could do. I had night sweats, I had sleepless nights, crazy headaches, moods, emotional outbursts. It was a really hard time. She did a hormone test and said everything seemed normal. I asked her what I could do to relieve some of these symptoms and stuff, and she didn't have a lot to say. Her answer was, and I quote, "The bad news is you started premenopause about 10 years too early. The good news is by the time your friends start, you should be done." It's not exactly what I wanted to hear at the time, probably the truth, but it didn't make it any easier. So in November of 2019, I went to see a naturopath. I paid for a really expensive hormone test, and I was quite shocked to see the results that she had for me. Before I went to see her, I had gone back to see my doctor one more time, hoping she could help me, and she did another hormone test again. She said everything was fine. It turns out my cortisol levels were extremely low. First thing in the morning, when you're supposed to have a really high spike or the highest spike in your cortisol levels, mine was so low, it didn't even test on the low normal range. So she says that's why I was so tired all the time, waking up tired and just exhausted. So during the night, when your levels are supposed to be the lowest so you can sleep, they were the highest. So mine was kind of all over the place there. Also, she said my body was not metabolizing things well. So she put me on, I think, 4 different supplements, one for my cortisol, one for my adrenals, something for my metabolism because I wasn't metabolizing things well. And then there was another packet for a detox. There was 5 pills in each packet. I'm supposed to take one in the morning and one in the evening. So overall, I was taking about 20 pills a day. When my sister told me about Soulera and I looked into what it could do, honestly, it helped for all of those things that she put me on a supplement for. So I could take 2 teaspoons of liquid instead of 20 pills a day. And I have a hiatal hernia. Taking pills is not something I love doing. So since February, I have been using Soulera. I sleep a lot better. I still have some nights where I don't sleep very well, but they're far and few in between. My headaches have improved greatly. My hot flashes are a lot less severe. I haven't had night sweats in some time now, and I'm not even sure when that stopped. I wasn't paying attention that closely. My moods are not so up and down, and I'm feeling great, not so dragged down, tired when I get up in the morning. A lot of the aches and pains I always had waking up first thing in the morning, they, for the most part, disappeared. You know, you get older and you get kind of rusty and you get a little achy in the morning sometimes, but it's not as bad. Soulera has sure helped me out a lot with some of these symptoms. And I know you can't stop menopause from happening, but this really has helped with a lot of my symptoms. I had used Soulera for over a month before I noticed a difference. So for those of you out there who use it for a week or even a month or 2 months and you don't notice a lot, stick with it. I am still finding things that it's helping for my health. Stuff is still changing. For my daughter, she went through a period of really bad anxiety. It has helped her out most with her moods. It got so bad that her grade 8 year, we just took her out of school. She did everything online that year, and we tried counseling and some natural supplements and things. It would help for a little while. The counseling did help some, but when she started using Soulera, I noticed an almost immediate improvement with her. Also, she's a lot younger than I am, so that might be some of it. But my husband was saying 3 days after she started using it that she's laughing again. Like, we hadn't seen that laugh or heard it in several years. I think 2-3 years it had been. So that was huge for us. She deals with stress a lot better these days than she used to. When you go to school and you're in high school, there's a lot of stress out there with that. So we've really enjoyed this product for her. We all know that it's been a stressful year, so this is a really good time for us to continue using it. Our son, he is 18 years old. He says it hasn't made a load of difference in his life, but he interacts with us so much better at home. He's so much easier going and everything. I know it's made a difference in his life, and he doesn't catch a cold as easily as he used to. And some people say it's the masking. I know that just from paying attention to my kids and my husband, that we are all a lot healthier than we have been, and all four of us use it. My husband is not a man of many words. So when I asked him what he thought it had helped him with, he said, not many things. I just love how great I feel, he says. But I know him, and even my family has said he is so much more outgoing and kidding around and joking around like they've never seen him like this, they say. And overall, the health benefits to our family have been great. Our kids, I guess I already mentioned that our kids don't get colds as easily. And well, other than that, I don't know what else to say. Like I just love it.
I
That's
can
it.
relate so much to so many things that you've said, because everything that you're saying, I'm like, yep, that's my kids too. Yep, that's my kids too. I have a daughter with anxiety, so I totally understand. It's been a world of difference in my family as well. So thank you so much, Anna. That was just amazing to hear. I'm so happy to
You're
hear that it's
welcome.
helping your family so much. Just absolutely awesome. And I know you're running to doctors right now, so if you need to jump off, we will let you.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
so
do.
much.
Yeah, see you guys. I'll listen to the rest of it later.
All right. That's one amazing story. So let's jump in and let's go to a second one, and we're going to go to Miss Julie. Hi, Jules.
Hi, how is everyone? It's great to see everybody here today. This is a very special day, hearing of all these testimonies today. So thank you so much, Paula, for inviting me on here and being able to tell my story. So have you ever found yourself praying so long for a miracle to happen with your health struggles? And after years of nearly giving up, that the miracle finally happened? Have you? Well, for me, it all started about 30 years ago. Yeah, 30 years ago. December of 1989, when I found out I was expecting my third child. My second pregnancy ended in a miscarriage. So 2 years prior, and with testing with my thyroid, found out that it was malfunctioning. So with my thyroid malfunctioning, it meant that it wasn't producing the hormones and that for the pregnancy to continue. So that's why I went through the miscarriage. However, after that, my thyroid returned to normal. Weird, I know. So when I was pregnant the third time, again, my thyroid malfunctioned. It lowered, which meant to carry my baby this time to term, I was then going to have to be on a synthetic hormone. Well, that didn't thrill me much. And if you're like me, I'm sure that you're not wanting to take a prescription medication every day of your life, right? And it certainly wasn't what I had in mind. So from December of 1989, I've been praying for a miracle to help support my thyroid naturally. Well, that day came in August of 2018. Yes, just 2 years ago. So I've been praying about this for 30 years, and just 2 years ago, the miracle happened. And it was because I saw a Facebook post. Of course, I sent a private message wanting to know more. And with that, I did my due diligence, like all of us here should. And that is doing our research, right? On anything new, we should be going search it out, see what it does. All of that. Do our due diligence. So, of course, I did mine. And I realized that this is what I was praying for and looking for. I believed and supported this product, Soulera, so much that I've been telling everyone. And I knew that this product was going to change me and my health and so many other people. It wasn't until the end of November of that same year of 2018 that I was finally going to be able to taste the product. Now, wait a minute. August to November, and just tasting in November? So supporting this from August to November, knowing that it was such an amazing product and I believed in it, having the first taste of Soulera in November of that year was monumental. And having that first taste of the product was at our first product launch. That was amazing. But the other thing that was amazing was when they gave us our sample of Soulera, they said, now wait a second, before you take that, we're wanting you to set your intention. Say, what? Set my intention? I had never heard about anything like that before. So that meant even more to me when we had the sample of the natural products of God's plants and setting my intention of where we were wanting Soulera to help us out the most meant so much. So immediately after setting my intention of how this product was going to help me, I started to feel amazing calming effects of Soulera. Because of course, anyone who has thyroid, issues, of course, that comes with anxiousness, lack of sleep, joint pain, right? Well, my anxiousness, because we were down in Toronto, surrounded by a lot of people, like I was just bombarded. But as soon as I could feel the calming effects of Soulera, and I was just blown away. And I still have had those calming effects every day since. Haven't missed a day. So May of 2019 was also a changing month. It's when I went to my doctor and reported that my thyroid level had improved. Excuse me? My thyroid level had improved? Wait a second. 27 years later, and it's improved? The only thing I could put it to was the amazing Soulera with its calming effects. So I knew that Soulera was silently supporting my thyroid and still remains today, allowing me to feel vibrant and alive and living a fabulous life, 2 teaspoons at a time. And I'm 60, feeling like I'm 50. Thanks for having me, Paula.
Thank you so much, Julie. I remember the night very, very well. I remember the first time I met you at that event. And, you know, when you say your first take and you felt that calming, I was super anxious because there were so many people I'd never met and everybody wanted to talk to me and I had to jump from crowd to crowd. So I was kind of in a tizzy myself. And man, we took that and we sat down to listen to the speakers. And I remember I kind of slumped and my eyes kind of started to close. I was so calm. I almost fell asleep sitting there. So I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it was really amazing.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful experience. You know, I've watched so many of the journeys that, you know, as we keep doing these calls, I know almost everybody's journey that they've gone through. And even for me, you know, we're going on over 2 years now, and we are still every day realizing, oh wait, that's different. Oh, wait, that doesn't hurt. You know, and that's the whole thing. And that's why we can never say it enough to people is stick with it, because it will do something for you when the time is right. That's the beauty with adaptogens. You may, you know, when we did about the intent, where do you want this to work? What do you need? It may not always go exactly where you think it does.
Right.
Or where you think it should be helping you, because adaptogens do know best. You know, they know what your body needs the most. And so when you take that and say, you know, for me, my number one thing, I had terrible headaches all the time. So I was hoping so much, Kate, please do this. But I didn't notice that right away. There was other things I noticed first. And then gradually I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't had a headache in weeks. You know, and I was one that had migraines 3-4 times a week. So it was, you know, a huge, you know, kick in the pants of, oh my goodness, this is actually working now. And that's the beauty of it. It keeps getting better. You know, I've heard stories from people that had amazing results in the beginning and they're still telling me stuff. Like, did you know this? Did you know that? Like, I'm this and I'm that. And it's super exciting for all of us, you know, and customers that come back and say, you know, do you realize, like, I thought I'd already got to my peak point of where I felt great, but I didn't know I could feel even better. And that is like the best feeling in the world, to hear that from people. It's absolutely amazing. All right, we are going to do one last person today, and we're going to do Miss Michelle. So if you want to come in and tell us your story, Michelle, and I know it's amazing as well. Oh, wait, I think we muted. Click your mute button.
There we go. Can you hear me? Okay. I cannot hear you.
I just mute so in case my kids yell.
Oh, okay. So my journey with declining health actually started in 1996. I just turned 51, just for some reference. So in 1996, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, and it's the thyroid. I have a cold nodule as well as a goiter, and it was not pleasant. At some point over the years, it turned into the severe form of Hashimoto's. In 2012, 2 more autoimmune diseases joined. 2015, another one. That one brought severe 24/7 head to toe pain. And then, yeah, so the full blown menopause joined the party as well, and it wasn't fun. And, you know, I had tried some natural things, quote unquote, natural things. And I quickly learned in this journey that natural does not always mean natural. And it wasn't until December 1st, 2018, when I took the first 2 teaspoons and went, wow, that night I slept so good. it was amazing. I was used to not sleeping at all. If I got 2 hours straight sleep, that was, oh, I got 2 hours straight sleep. This is great. My average was 5 hours a night. And along with all the other symptoms of multiple autoimmune diseases, before my 2 teaspoons a day, I mean, I just drug through life. I really did. It just did what I absolutely had to do. But what I really, plus I'm off of 4 medications and a handful of over the counter. But what I want to talk about is the absence of. We hear people saying better sleep, better this, better that, improve this, improve that. But a lot of times, and you just don't realize what has happened. So the absence of. So 2019, I live in the southern states. So our southern snow season comes around springtime. And it had been that way for a good 2 or 3 weeks. And then one day I literally walked out onto the back porch and I looked and I saw our SUV sitting there and it was just covered in that southern snow. And I went, man, I gotta wash that thing. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. Duh. I had not taken the first thing for that. Not the first thing. And I'm like, oh, I can breathe. This is amazing. The absence of, I just totally, it was just gone. And then later that year, last year, 2019, fall, winter season, always got sick, always. And the same thing, having to pop pills. And then I would get sick on top of it. Didn't have any of that last year. Same thing this year. Guys, I've not been sick. And I used to get sick literally once a month, easily. I was sick for a week or 2. I mean, it was just constant. It was just a constant vicious cycle. I have not been sick since 2 teaspoons a day. I mean, this is just amazing. But also another thing that I have just recently, like 2 days ago, went, oh my gosh, here is another absence of. So I don't like the cold. I still don't like the cold, but the cold used to hurt. I mean, deep down in my bones, hurt. I just, even inside, bundled up, I couldn't layer up enough. And to turn the heat on high enough to get me actually warm, I literally had to sit in front of a heater. Well, what does that dry heat do to you? It's horrible. So that wasn't an option either. Y'all, I can literally, it's like 35 degrees outside, and I can literally go outside dressed in what I'm dressed in. And yeah, it's cold. Oh my gosh, it's cold, but it doesn't hurt. It does not hurt. So that's the latest absence of. And I was like, this is amazing. And another lady, the other day, a friend of mine was over and I was just zipping and doing. And she goes, and she's in her mid-30s. She goes, how do you have so much energy? I've told her about this many times, many times. She actually had a bottle of it, kind of somewhat took it. And I just said, 2 teaspoons a day. That's how I do things. 2 teaspoons a day, every day. And that brings me to another thing, consistency. Because let me tell you, there was a period last year. I got married and then we had grandchildren for our honeymoon. It was great. And then it was really good. We started house hunting and 30 days to close. And guess who forgot to order? And then it was just all things and it just blew up. That was the worst time. I knew then exactly what this has done for me. I will never, ever be without my 2 teaspoons a day. And then my last thing that I'm going to talk about as far as myself personally are my glasses. I had to go back to a previous prescription last week. I was noticing my glasses, they're trifocals, and I kept going, why is it so blurry? For like a few weeks and it didn't hit me. I was cleaning out a junk drawer And I saw my old glasses there and I thought, let me see if these are any better. And I put them on and I literally can see again. And they're not as strong. My husband, this was before we met. He had an autoimmune disease that literally made him look like a Dalmatian, the skin eruptions, nasty, red, angry looking, just all over his skin. And it's an autoimmune disease and doctors couldn't touch it. He was on 2 medications. They wanted to add a third and he goes, I recognize that one in the 30, 40 seconds of side effects. I'll live with this, doc, before I take that one. Well, 2 teaspoons a day, he's clear. No doctor's medication. He is clear. No, not even the first little hint of it. And then my daughter, she would have to go to the ER usually twice a month. She was on four everyday medications and 2 emergency medications for her head. And she still landed in the ER for what they call a cocktail, at least twice a month. And she's better. She's better. She hasn't been to the ER in I don't know how long. And she's mostly off of the medications. So for me, this has just been life-saving. Just life-saving. And I appreciate y'all for listening to my testimony. Thank you. And thank you, Paula. You're such an amazing leader, and I'm just so grateful to have you.
I am grateful to have you as well. You know, and I see Misty is here that, you know, and she said, you know, she watched you decline and she watched you bounce back. And I remember when you got a hold of me when you didn't get orders for a while and we got that fixed. And I don't think I'll ever forget that message was, you know, it was only like a matter of like a week after you got it. And I remember, and you were like, oh my God, I feel so much better, you know,
Yes.
and for all of us that's been in this company, especially since the beginning, and we've watched people, you know, leave, come back, and or not stay consistent. And consistency is huge with anything.
It is the key. It
with
is.
anything in your life, you know, but when you stick to taking those 2 teaspoons every single day religiously, you see changes. You literally can feel the changes. And I think we've all experienced at least something in a major positive way with our families, with ourselves. I mean, I have so many people in my life that take Soulera. I literally get messages daily. Did you know this? Did you know that? And I just smile and say yes, you know, and I just write it down because it's what helps us help other people. You know, people always, there's testimonies that people are like, oh, I don't really want to tell my story because what's it going to do? And people don't understand that your story is someone else's story too. And you can help so many other people by doing that. That's why I was so excited to do this call today. And we're going to do one of these calls every month. We're going to have new people on every single month, you know, and as new people come in, we're going to get, you know, customers and everything coming in to tell, you know, their experiences. And that's really how we're going to kind of change the full stressful world we're living in right now is if we've got a chance to help anybody, you know, we've got the product to do so. And that's what we want to do. So I want to thank everybody, you know, my 3 ladies for being here today. I appreciate you all. And we will see you next time. And make sure if you're watching a replay of this, please get back to the person that shared it with you. They can answer any questions that you have. And we're always here to help everybody. So thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a